The Republican Party of New Mexico is the affiliate of the United States Republican Party in New Mexico, headquartered in Albuquerque. The party is led by Chairman John Billingsley. The party has provided 12 of the 31 governors of New Mexico, including only 3 in the past 40 years. As of the 12th of October 2010, 32% of New Mexican voters are registered Republicans, compared to 46% registered Democrats. Early history. Similar to most other state Republican parties, the Republican Party of New Mexico started around the American Civil War era. One of the founding fathers of the Republican Party of New Mexico was Thomas B. Catron. At the time of New Mexico's admission to the Union, Catron owned a significant majority of land in the state. Due to that wealth, Catron was influential in shaping the party. Catron served as U.S. Senator from New Mexico from 1912 to 1917. Party platform. The Republican Party of New Mexico's platform covers many issues that interest New Mexicans. The platform title is Protecting the American Dream. Quote, "It was adopted on March 16, 2002, amended on March 18, 2006, and further amended on March 13, 2010. The preface to the party's platform summary is, "The Republican Party of New Mexico is a party of the people and for the people. We seek to be faithful to the best traditions of our national party, the party that ended slavery, granted homesteads, built land-grant colleges, and moved control of government back into the hands of the people. We champion the worth and abilities of the individual and seek to protect the American dream for all. We believe our God-given freedom is inseparable from our responsibility to serve our community, state and nation. In this, we draw inspiration from our first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, who challenged us to dare to do our duty as we understand it. Economic freedom. The party supports government policies that limit involvement in the private sector. Furthermore, they argue that unions should only be a political tool with the consent of the paying member. Crime. Personal safety. The party argues that criminals should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. It supports the right to bear arms, as credited in the U.S. Constitution and New Mexico Constitution. Private property. The Republican Party of New Mexico supports the protection of private property from state and local governments. Education. The party believes that parent involvement, local community involvement, and a right to choose is essential to improving education in New Mexico. Healthcare. The party's position on healthcare can be summarized as fix it, don't federalize it. Quote, "It supports any way the private sector can improve healthcare in New Mexico." Equal rights. The Republican Party of New Mexico supports civil rights laws that ban any discrimination based on race, gender, handicap, religion, and national origin. Life issues. The party supports the protection of human life and opposes any state-level funding of human embryo research and abortions. Controlled substances. The party supports local law enforcement agencies to deal with drug problems. It opposes any legislation that would legalize any drug. Immigration. The party believes that any person who comes to New Mexico through legal means is welcomed. However, any person that comes to the state through illegal means should face the full prosecution of the law. Election integrity. The party argues that a clean environment and sound economy can go together. Family issues. The party supports a constitutional amendment that would define marriage as being between one man and one woman. Homeland security. The party argues that state and local law enforcement agencies work willingly with the federal law enforcement agencies across the border. They also support every legal method to detect and defuse any terrorist plot on New Mexican and the United States soil. Pre-primary convention. Every 2 years, prior to the primary election, the party holds a pre-primary convention. This is where statewide candidates push to receive delegate support before the primary election. If a candidate receives at least 20% of the delegates' vote, they are automatically placed on the primary election ballot. However, if a candidate does not receive at least 20% of the delegation vote, they can still get on the ballot by obtaining at least 1,500 signatures of Republicans who had voted in the most recent election within 10 days of the convention. Current elected officials. The party controls 3 of the state's 7 statewide offices, holds a minority in the New Mexico Senate, and a majority in the New Mexico House of Representatives. Republicans also hold one of the state's 3 U.S. House seats. Members of Congress. U.S. House of Representatives Steve Pearce, 2nd District. Statewide officers: Governor Susana Martinez, Lieutenant Governor John Sanchez, Secretary of State Diana Duran, Chairman John Dendal, Ramsey Gorham, Alan W.E.H., Harvey Yates, Monty Newman, John Billingsley. Gary Johnson 2012 presidential campaign. Former Republican governor of New Mexico, Gary Johnson, ran for the party's nomination for president in the 2012 Republican presidential primary. He was governor of New Mexico from 1994 to 2003. However, poll numbers show Johnson well behind the other Republican candidates, and he was only included in 2 debates with his opponents. This was partly the reason he switched to the Libertarian Party and continued his presidential run for the party's nomination. He won the nomination by a landslide and went on to win 3rd place in the 2012 presidential election behind first-place finisher incumbent Democratic President Barack Obama and second-place finisher the former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney. He won nearly 1% nationwide and slightly above 3% in New Mexico.